Hello BookTube. Today I'm going to be doing the J tag. This tag is one of a continuing series of alphabet-inspired book tags created by Jim of Jim's Books, Reading and Stuff. As my name starts with a J, James, he tagged me for this video. Thank you, and I'll leave a link to his original video down below. J is for Japan. What was the last book you read by a Japanese author? Fairy Tale Volume 1 by Hiro Mashima. Fairy Tale is a shonen manga. It is a manga aimed at middle grade and young adult boys and young men. Fairy Tale follows the adventures of Natsu Dragonil and Lucy Heartfilia. Natsu is a fire dragon slayer wizard, meaning he has a fire magic that is originally designed to kill dragons. Lucy is a celestial spirit mage. She can use, using magical keys, she can summon celestial spirits to fight on her behalf. And she later gets some magical power-ups to where she can do certain spells on her own or with aid. So this first volume sees the two meeting in the port town of Hargian and the kingdom of Fiori. Natsu is in town looking for news of Ignil, his dragon foster father, and Lucy is in town to buy some celestial spirit keys. Also in town is a rogue wizard named Bora, who uses some magic to entice a number of young women onto his boat for less than, well, he's basically going to enslave them. Lucy ends up getting caught up in this. Natsu goes in to rescue her. Lucy, aiding Natsu, managed to defeat Bora, and Natsu invites Lucy to come with him and join Fairy Tale because she wants to join Fairy Tale, and Natsu's a Fairy Tale wizard. So she joins Fairy Tale, and together they go rescue another Fairy Tale wizard, and then later Lucy is talked into accompanying Natsu and his cat companion Happy on a mission that serves as the hook for Volume 2. So I'm really, I really enjoyed Fairy Tale. I first encountered Fairy Tale about 10 years ago, largely because there was a poster. I'm not entirely sure where I saw this poster at, but it was this poster, and it was of the team Natsu, which pretty much they're the team that the series follows. It's Natsu, Lucy, Grateful Buster, Happy, and Ursa, and later Wendy, Marvel, and other Fairy Tale Guild members kind of come and go. That attracted me to the series. And then I sort of collected Volume 1 and a few like earlier volumes. And then I kind of fell out of reading manga, or collecting manga about a few years ago. And then, I kept up with Fairy Tale until it ended in 2017. And after that, I sort of fell out of manga completely. And then last year, I saw the first 17 or 18 volumes of Fairy Tale were available on Kindle Unlimited, and I reread them and fell in love with Fairy Tale all over again. And I really wanted to get back into manga, because there were a few series I would like to reread, and so I picked up a physical copy of Fairy Tale Volume 1 last month when I went on a manga buying binge. So that's why I picked up Fairy Tale Volume 1. J is for Jamaica. What was the last book you read by an author from the Caribbean? I want to say it was Black Leopard, Red Wolf by Marlon James. I am woefully underread in Caribbean literature. And so this is an area where I would like to really focus a bit more on. But Black Leopard, Red Wolf is an I would say it's more of a sword and sorcery novel than it is epic fantasy. It's about this character named Tracker who has a complicated relationship with this character who's, I think, if I remember correctly, his name is the Leopard. Like the two men have a sort of complicated romantic relationship. They are hired separately to rescue this young boy who has been captured by or kidnapped by a monster. And they are joined by a number of other characters, one of whom exile from a distant land becomes Tracker's new lover over the course of the mission, and together they have a sort of found family. So they find the boy, and then a few years later, Tracker's, for all intents and purposes, husband and most of the children they've adopted have been slaughtered, and so the second half of the book is Tracker seeking revenge, and it's told as an interrogation, and I quite enjoyed it. I need to reread it, and I'd hoped to have reread it this past June, but yeah, I'm not really getting on with the fictional lately, so I kind of put it aside, but I'm hoping I can come back to it before the end of the year. So yeah. J is for Jane Austen and July. What are you reading for Jane Austen July 2021? Or if you're late, you could also talk about Jane Austen July 2020. I'm not reading anything for Jane Austen July because I don't particularly like Jane Austen. I read Pride and Prejudice when I was a freshman in high school, and I didn't particularly care for it. I mean, the language is pretty, yes, but it's so boring. And I've seen no reason to either revisit Pride and Prejudice or read anything else by Jane Austen. So, yeah. J is for James Joyce. What is your favorite novel by James Joyce? I've never read any of James Joyce's fiction or his novels to completion. I tried Ulysses about 10 years or so ago, and I didn't like it. So I bailed. And I never bothered with Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man or Finnegan's Wake. So really, the only work by James Joyce that I've ever actually read to completion has been his short story collection, Dubliners, which I think I remember quite liking, but I could also be wrong. And as far as being brave enough to tackle Finnegan's Wake, heck no. J is for joke. Tell us a bookish joke. I am terrible at consciously telling jokes. And J is for Jaguar. Enzo Ferrari described the Jaguar E-Type XKE as the most beautiful car in the world. What do you consider the most beautiful car in the world? I can't actually tell cars apart. They all look the same to me. There's a running joke when somebody takes, like, my brother or sister-in-law, or when my mother could drive, would take me anywhere. I don't drive. I don't know how. Would take me places. I would have a hard time recognizing their car, let alone anybody else's car. So I'm not entirely sure. Yeah. So they all look the same to me. Anyway, if you would like to do this tag, consider yourselves tagged, and I will see you with another video, hopefully tomorrow. So until then, BookTube, thank you, have a great afternoon, and stay safe.